coming in still, guys. Everything we're doing has been an exact 1-for-1 on how to wholesale houses, right? So guys, I want to go ahead and get started and show you guys exactly how to 100x your ROI wholesaling businesses. Everything that you know about wholesaling houses, you're literally going to take all your skills. You don't have to relearn new stuff. You don't have to go and start from the bottom again in a whole new industry, right? Man, I'm getting a ton of people coming in, but just bear with me, guys. Guys, you're going to learn. You don't have to learn anything new. All you have to do is talk to a different subset of people, right? That all just comes from the list. So guys, I'm super excited for everybody to be on this masterclass with me. Let's go ahead. Let's start this thing off, and let's go ahead and get started. Now, remember, guys, I want y'all to remember that everything we're doing, you've already been doing, okay? But what is the reason, guys? What is the reason that y'all should even care to listen to me, right? Some of y'all know me already. Some of y'all may not. But a quick kind of background on me and where I come from. I'm originally from a little town south of Houston called Corpus Christi, Texas. We're really not known for much other than Selena and Whataburger, right? But I moved to Houston in 2010. I came up here, got my master's in accounting. Then I went on and got my CPA. I was crushing it in corporate America, to be honest with you guys. I was moving up the ladder very fast, made it to senior management as fast as possible. But I was, we're in cubicles. It's a 9-to-5 grind. And everybody that I'm talking to here today, I know y'all feel me when I say that it's really hard to be handcuffed to a desk and follow somebody else's dream, right? Push and do everything that they want you to do on their timeline for their pockets. Ultimately, your pay don't change. Your salary is your salary, right? So I just, I really didn't feel like I could spend the next 20, 30, 40 years of my life in corporate America. So I made the tough decision. I was making good money, guys. I made the tough decision to throw 8 years of my life away, or what I felt like was throwing 8 years of my life away, getting that CPA license. And I jumped ship and I went straight into wholesaling houses. I had heard about it, so I went in there. It took a while to kind of get off the ground, right? This was back in 2017. But I was ultimately able to scale that up to a multiple 7-figure company. We do wholesales, hotels, we'll do flips, we do creative flips. I mean, guys, honestly, my whole real estate company is on autopilot at this point. I probably spend about 2 hours a week working on my real estate company. That has allowed me the time and freedom to transition over to businesses, right? That's where I went and learned the mergers and acquisitions. And eventually I started figuring out how to wholesale businesses as well. And I did think that my CPA, kind of was a waste when I transitioned into wholesaling houses, because you don't need any licenses to wholesale houses, right? The barrier to entry is 0. But I realize now I'm in this really unique spot of like having the background of the CPA and the financials and all of that, but also understanding like where real estate wholesaling is, what real estate wholesalers go through, like all of that stuff, guys. Like it just took some weird nerd like myself, I guess, to kind of really become the bridge between these two things. For those that's not following me on IG, shame on you. Make sure you hit that, scan that QR code. Make sure you follow me, guys. I throw a lot of good content on there. I'm actually in the process of getting the podcast going and all of that. I just, everybody's coming at me 100 miles an hour, and I'm really trying to put everything on the calendar and tackle it as fast as I can. Yeah, guys, so that's a little bit about me. What I wanted to get into next, though, is kind of what my wholesaling journey kind of looked like, right? If we zoom in just for a little bit, it was 2017. Again, I was I was CPA. I was doing corporate America in the finance area, all of that stuff. And I was about to have my first child at the time. My wife was pregnant, and I just was super unhappy, guys. Like, legit, they were treating us like little kids, right? Like, I got moved around on our floor in the big old skyscraper 3 times, like we're elementary kids. Like, they changed the seating chart 3 times because I just was talking too much, right? So I guess God was kind of giving me a few signs and a few different things. And guys, if you can mute yourselves while we're going through this, I would appreciate that. But I guess God was giving me these signs that I just wasn't meant to be there. So I tried my hand. For those that haven't been in the game that long, I started doing yellow letters. Direct mail was still a thing back in 2017. It's amazing how fast we grow, how fast the industry kind of just speeds up, right, and takes off. But direct mail was kind of still the most popular thing. I started doing pre-foreclosures, targeting them, handwriting them. I would take 200 envelopes, all sealed and stamped, to the post office, and start my little marketing campaigns and stuff like that. And literally, while I was in the hospital, my wife was, about to give birth to our son, my firstborn. He's 7 now. But literally in that hospital, I ended up dispoing my first deal and making $1,500 on it, right? So I don't have one of these really, really cool stories about, my first deal was $100,000 or anything like that. But the real power behind that $1,500, as we all know, was what? That proof of concept, right? That proof of concept of, man, like, I didn't have to go clock in for this. I didn't have to go work a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, to get this money. To me, it truly felt like I created $1,500 out of thin air. And I know everybody here that has done deals, especially us that have been in the game for a little while, we lose that sense of magic, right, on the deals. And I get that, 20,000 don't mean nothing anymore. 50 grand don't mean nothing. Like, it just doesn't even move the needle anymore. But honestly and truly, guys, it really is a remarkable thing to really understand that you're creating this money out of thin air, right? So that was how I got started. I hadn't quit just yet. I did one more deal before I quit my job. It was another deal here in Houston, and I actually did it sight unseen without really meaning to. But I made $10,000 on that one, so that one sounds a little cooler because I never saw it. But as soon as I got that one, I quit and I just went in full time on wholesaling, and I thought I was about to just make it straight to the top, right? That definitely did not happen, guys. I went dry for like 4 or 5 months after those 2 deals. So I'm here. I'm sitting here. I quit my job, my career. My wife thinks I'm crazy, and there's no money coming in. Right. So I really feel like, God always works in mysterious ways, and he always has a plan for all of us. Right. And it just so happened, guys, that in 2017, I believe it was August 2017, Hurricane Harvey hit. And that created an influx of inventory into the market. And because I was already somewhat, I had my feet wet at least, right? I had done a couple of deals. I actually had 2 that fell through as well. So when that time came, I was able to hit the ground running. And I really just, with all thanks and glory to God, I was really able to hit the ground running. And I ended up doing over 100 flooded homes during Hurricane Harvey. So that was really the time that I learned a lot. But the biggest important lesson that I learned during that time was to always be prepared, because we don't know what's right around the corner. But I would have hated to have Hurricane Harvey hit, and then I would have had to sit down and go to YouTube and be like, how to wholesale houses. Like, if I would have had to start there during Hurricane Harvey, I might have done a couple of deals versus 100 deals, right? So, and guys, so I rode this wave. Obviously, we've all seen how stupid hot the market was a year, 2 years ago. It was almost like you could sign something today, and by the time 2 weeks came, 3 weeks came, you just by appreciation itself could make at least $5,000 on a wholesale deal, right? Like that's how hot that was. And so at any given point in time, guys, right now we're constantly juggling maybe 3 to 5 flips, and we're constantly juggling maybe 3 to 5 hotel type of deals. We get super creative with our stuff. If anybody, maybe I shouldn't offer this, but if anybody in your real estate journey, if y'all are flipping or you're curious about to start flipping, we have something that literally nobody else in the country is doing with how they flip properties. And these are strategies that I learned in mergers and acquisitions, and I brought them back to real estate and we're implementing them. We are turning $30,000 flips into $60,000 flips. Usually it goes the other way, right? We budgeted. I started off thinking I was going to make 60 and I ended up making 30. No, guys, we're starting off at 30 and ending up making $60,000 on these flips, all by strategies that I learned and took from the M&A world and implemented into real estate. So again, guys, outside of all of this, if any of you guys are curious about that, feel free to DM me. We can set up a time to talk. Feel free to DM Carlos. We can set up a time to talk about what that strategy is, how we're implementing it. And it is just, I mean, legit, guys, I got love for all the big boys. Eric Klein, Nick Perry, Carlos Reyes, like everybody, right? Like I love all of these guys. I've talked to all of these guys and I've told them about what I'm doing, and everybody is like, whoa. Like, that's new. That's real new. So, again, guys, just on a pure value add, if you want help with that, just to show you guys that there's a new way to flip these houses. But, unfortunately, over the past year to 2 years, what has happened, guys? We have kind of turned into this extremely oversaturated market with really high interest rates. Prices kind of coming down. I know everybody's crossing their fingers, hoping that the feds are going to lower the interest rates. From my understanding, they're talking about keeping them there for a while. And honestly, if they drop them too fast, the prices of the houses are going to skyrocket and we're going to be in a whole nother world of issues. So unfortunately, I think that we're going to be sitting here on this high interest rate environment for a little while. I understand, guys. This is the whole reason I'm telling you all this. I came from wholesaling real estate. I know what we're going through. And I also know that the skills that we all have are worth way more than we're getting paid in real estate. That's what I want you guys to understand, okay? And so if we continue here, guys, my goal for this masterclass, my goal for this presentation, can I see the chat right there? My goal for this presentation, guys, is to get you guys to believe in yourselves enough that this is easy enough and that you can take everything you already know. We're not teaching you nothing new. And you can simply apply it to what we're doing with wholesaling businesses, okay? And so that's my goal for today, guys. And I'm going to get y'all by the end. Trust me, I'm going to show you by the end exactly what we're looking at. So who is this for? Who is this presentation for, guys? This presentation is specifically for every wholesaler that is freaking tired of having to work like a dog and call people and text people and battle with these grimy other wholesalers and get deals stolen from you from potential buyers. Like, I've had all of this stuff happen to me, right? This is for everybody that's tired of having to just work down to the bone just to maybe get one half decent lead, and they're probably not even ready to go until 6 months to 12 months from now, right? So if that's you, if you feel that way, like, throw it in the chat, guys. If you feel what I'm saying right now, let me know in the chat that you're feeling what I'm telling you right now, because I know the struggles. I come from this. Okay, if this is you guys, I need your focus for a little while, and so we can really show you how to get down and wholesale these businesses. Now, what is wholesaling businesses, guys? Wholesaling businesses is easier, it's unsaturated, and not only that, you can 100x your ROI. Like legit, guys. This isn't some flashy thing. I mean, everybody here has heard of somebody making $1,500 on a wholesale fee, right? I'm not saying it's you, but tell me in the chat if you've ever heard of somebody making a measly $1,500 on an assignment fee. It happens a lot. Go ask all the guys at New Western and Net Worth how much they're making on their fees. It's probably like $1,500 after they got to pay everybody out, right? So if they're making $1,500 on an assignment fee, we're making $150,000 on some wholesaling businesses deals. That literally is where I got the term 100x your ROI. $1,500 times 100, right? So guys, this is real. This is very real. And I want you guys to pay attention as we continue through this stuff. How did I come up with this, guys? I kind of want to just tackle this up front. A lot of people ask me this question, and so I figured I would just give it to everybody up front. So I started getting bored with real estate. We were making good money, but I did notice that the saturation was getting a little tougher. And just having my CPA financial background, I really started getting interested in how to buy businesses. And so I kind of immersed myself into the world of M&A, the mergers and acquisitions, and I started learning from all the big dogs. Roland Frazier, Jeremy Harbour. I've done some Cody Sanchez stuff. Carl Allen. I think he's linked up with Pace now. Jay Abraham. There's a ton of guys. I spent a lot of money with these guys and learning how to buy businesses. Well, one of these guys, I'm not going to say who, but I'm going to tell you, I was in the UK with a bunch of British people and me, right? You know, beard, chain, backwards hat. I didn't necessarily fit in, but I was there to learn how to buy businesses, right? So we were going over like 100 different ways on how to buy businesses, okay? And I'm kind of dozing off. He's talking about this strategy, that strategy, spend 5-10 minutes on each one. He spends like 5-10 seconds on one, and where he goes, well, and he didn't call it wholesaling, but he says, well, you could get a property or a business under contract at a discount, and you could kind of just sign that to somebody else and make kind of like a quick fee on it. But that's boring. Who wants to do that? Right? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I perked up, right? I'm like, yeah, I'd like to ask a couple questions about that. I know a whole lot of people that would like to learn how to do that. And I just wasn't met with the same energy from these guys. These are mergers and acquisitions, buy and hold business portfolio guys, almost like a landlord is, right? They're like hardcore landlords, and I'm the only wholesaler there. Like nobody really cared. Like they live a different lifestyle and view things from a different point of view. Nothing wrong with it, but I know that I made a lot of money wholesaling houses. So I'm like, there's no way I can't make money wholesaling businesses. So I had to come back to Houston thinking I was crazy, and I kind of had to do some research, right? I kind of had to ask myself, what is the opportunity? Is there an opportunity here? Right? So I come back to Houston, and I'm sitting there, I'm typing on the computer, looking at different stats, and some of you guys may have seen this stuff before, but I got this from Guidant Financial. This is a 2023 table. So a couple years ago, these numbers looked a little different, but they actually look better now. But this is a pie chart of the demographics of everybody that owns small to medium-sized businesses, SMBs, SMEs, small to mid-sized enterprises, whatever you want to call it. That is defined as a company that's doing $10 million or less in revenue every year. Okay, so if we take a look at this pie chart, what are we seeing here? We're seeing boomers own 39, almost 40% of all the small businesses in America. We're also, and those guys are what, maybe like 65-ish, 70-ish. Like they're up there. Gen X, which I think those guys are probably like 55-ish, somewheres around there. Gen X owns 47% of all the small businesses in this country, right? So, like, what is this data telling us? I had to ask myself that. What is this data telling us? What this data is saying, and no disrespect to anybody that's on this call, but all the old people that are getting ready to retire own 86.8% of all the small businesses in America. There is something called the silver tsunami. That is the windfall of all these boomers and Gen Xers that are getting ready or are already ready to retire, guys. So just like Hurricane Harvey here in Houston provided this massive dump, this massive influx of inventory and opportunity for people to wholesale houses, I never would have been able to wholesale 100 flooded homes if it wasn't for Harvey. Right? This is that on a much bigger scale. The inventory is just falling in people's laps right now, guys. So that's a little bit about how I came about some of these data points. I continued to research, and I began to realize that we are literally living in the greatest transfer of wealth ever, guys. Compare it to any other time period in history. This is the time that all those baby boomers and Gen Xers are just dumping their businesses or they're closing their doors because they're ready to retire. They're ready to get out of there, right? So, guys, I want you to understand the opportunity that's in front of us here. A couple of other stats that I saw, right? Over 10,000 boomers are retiring every freaking single day, guys. A lot of those guys own small to medium-sized businesses. Like, the numbers are staggering. They're almost incomprehensible, guys. Now, this stat right here, this is the one that pushed me over the edge and told me I'm going 10 toes in on this, right? And what that stat is less than 10% of all the businesses that get listed ever get sold. Think about that, guys. Think about if on the MLS, less than 10% of houses got sold. What would happen? The system would be broken. There would be chaos in the streets. We wouldn't know what to do. That's what's happening right now in the business world. Guys, understand the opportunity that's in front of us here, okay? Put it in the chat, guys, if you're kind of starting to connect some of these dots that I'm talking about, guys. If you're starting to see that there are economic forces outside of any of our control that are making this opportunity ripe for the picking right here, right now, guys. So what I want to do for you guys, as this is a masterclass, I want to show you guys exactly the process from start to finish of what wholesaling a business looks like, right? So let's go on and let's talk about the wholesaling process in regards to real estate. Now, you can break this up in a few different ways, so don't go and try and put it in the chat talking about, well, technically this, that, the other. You can break this up in a few different ways, guys. But in general, what is the wholesale process when we're talking about wholesaling a house? You got your marketing and acquisitions phase where you're going to get your list. You're going to contact some people. You're going to go on some appointments, follow up with people. Then you're going to go into a section that I call signing the right deal. What does that mean? We got to kind of underwrite the deal. How much rehab does it need? What's the ARV? Make your cash offer. You get your purchase contract signed. After that, you move into the dispositions phase. You're going to find your cash buyer. You're going to assign it out and you're going to get paid, right? So that's the process in general on wholesaling a house. We all know that. What is the process in wholesaling a business? Guys, what is the only thing that looks different here? It's this little yellow box. You're still going to get a list. You're still going to contact people. You're still going to go on some appointments and follow up with people. You're going to do a little bit of financial qualifications. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then you're also, after that, you're going to underwrite the deal. You're going to make your offer. Instead of a purchase contract, it's going to be an LOI, a letter of intent. They function the same. After that, we're going to go get our cash buyer. We're going to assign it out, and we're going to get paid. Guys, you've already been doing a lot of these things. And guys, I want y'all to know something right now. I probably should have said this in the beginning, but I have a revolutionary, brand new, ain't none of y'all ever seen it before, formula for how to wholesale businesses. A lot of people come in and they start thinking about, well, I know how to offer on a house. How am I supposed to offer on these businesses? Later on, at the end of the masterclass, I'm going to drop a link into the chat, and you're going to get something that's really going to open your eyes and show you exactly how you can go about and quickly look at these businesses, qualified, unqualified, qualified, unqualified. So stick around until the end, guys, and we'll definitely get you that link here in the chat. But let's go ahead and start on all of this stuff, and let's go ahead and show you exactly how we would wholesale a business from start to finish. Now, the first thing we got to do is get a list, right? One of the sources, I have a ton of them in the community, but one of them that you guys can go to is called dataaxleusa.com. Screenshot this, guys, or do whatever you need to do to it. But dataaxleusa.com, this is going to be just like your prop stream, just like your list source or whatever other, list that you guys grab your leads from. You're going to be able to go to Dataaxle USA. You're going to be able to filter out by all the different things: industry, geographic location, sales, how much sales they have, how many employees do they have, the niche, the industry that you want to be in, all of those different things. You're going to be able to filter all of that. It's going to spit out your list, and then boom, now you're ready to roll, right? So it's super simple, guys. And now I really want to pause and kind of take a second, because when we're running PropStream and when we're doing list source and we're pulling all of these lists for our leads, what are we thinking, right? Okay, there's motivation with homeowners, with probates, with taxes, divorce. You can find other potential liens on the properties. Of course, some of them just want to retire. Landlords just want to be done with it, or downsizing. Health is always a big one. Financial issues. All of these things, guys, y'all have been honing in on your craft. When a call comes in, or your acquisitions guys throw you a call, or they're handling it, and hey, this person wants to sell, why? It's generally because one of these things, right? Well, somebody passed away, okay, probate, or some states allow affidavit of heirships. Okay, that's what we got to do. Here's the process. Tell them this. Tell them we're going to handle this for them. We're going to be a one-stop shop for all their solutions. You've already been perfecting your combos and how to build rapport and gain trust with these homeowners. What does the motivation look like for small to mid-sized business owners? It's the same slide, guys. Small to mid-sized business owners, they don't have the luxury of an Elon Musk, of an Apple, of those types of guys, to where their personal issues don't affect the business, right? These guys are generally somewhat involved, sometimes heavily involved in the day-to-day of the business. Therefore, when a death happens, when a divorce issue kind of comes up, when they're ready to retire, when health issues, when all of these things happen, it affects the business as well. So what have I been telling you guys? You've already been having these conversations with people. It is no different. The only difference in what you're already doing and what you're going to be doing wholesaling businesses is that you get to 100x your ROI, guys. So let's move on. Let's continue through the process. We're back here at the wholesaling process, and now we're on the infamous little yellow box, right? The only difference in everything you've already been doing. These are financial qualifications that are going to kind of tell us qualified, not qualified, qualified, not qualified, some of the things that we're looking for. Now, I put a few of them here on this slide right here, guys. We're going to be looking for, do they have revenue on the small side, 500 grand a year, on the high side, 10 million a year, right? So we don't really want companies that are making 75,000 a year or 100,000 a year on the top line, because that's going to do nothing for us on the bottom line. Cash buyers don't want that. There's just not enough meat on the bone. We also don't want any franchises. There's too many handcuffs that the corporate offices put on all the franchisees. Therefore, it doesn't really make it very flexible in the terms that we're going to negotiate for us to be able to wholesale it, right? And also currently operating. Guys, we want to wholesale running vehicles. We do not want to get into, well, they've been closed for a year, but he says he has a ton of customers that are ready to come back. No. We are buying running businesses, running vehicles. If they've been closed, I mean, we wish them the best, but it's just not going to be something that's going to help us out in dispoing it, because ultimately we have to do and get whatever our cash buyers want. Right. So, guys, these are just a few of them. I think we have like a 6 or 7 point checklist that whenever you need it, that you can go through and kind of, okay, this is qualified. It's not. It is. It's not. And quickly get to, is this a deal or is this not a deal? Am I going to get paid off of this or am I not going to get paid off of this? Because ultimately, that's all we really want. Right. So after we go through a few of the financial qualifications, what are we going to go through next? Well, now we need to underwrite the deal, right? Just like with houses. So in real estate, what do we do when we're ready to underwrite the deal? You see that I have ARV versus APV, but what is the holy grail of formulas for wholesaling a house? Max allowable offer, MAO, equals ARV times 70% minus your rehab minus your fee, right? What is the ARV? What is that trying to answer for us? That is trying to answer the fact that what could this house be worth all fixed up, right? And so, yes, could you do ARV times 80%? Times, I think Sal had times 0.93% on his slides in Dallas this past weekend. There's a lot of ways you can tweak it, but if you follow this formula, we all agree that you're in the safe zone and you got a deal on your hands. So long as you did your research right? As long as you're being reasonable with your ARV and your rehab. So this is how you quickly decide, what should I offer to a business? I mean, to a homeowner, right? What are we doing for businesses? I created, guys, and I want y'all to know, like, I got laughed at for this formula. I got laughed at for this idea. They told me that this couldn't be done. They told me that this wasn't possible for you to commoditize businesses the way you commoditize houses and you be able to put them on a conveyor belt and just pump them out. This formula, guys, the MAO, what do I offer a business? This formula right here is completely revolutionary and is going to change your life forever. This right here is what I'm going to give you guys at the end of the masterclass. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. It's going to be a PDF and it's going to have the formula on there. And look how similar it looks, guys. Look how similar this formula looks to what you're already used to. Like, put it in the chat, guys. Like, if you're connecting the dots, if you're seeing the one for one, let me know in the chat right now that you're connecting these dots, guys, that you're realizing that you've been underpaid this whole time. Your skills that you've been working on, that you've been honing in on and perfecting, they're worth way more than the wholesale fees that you're currently getting. They're worth 100x more. So at the end of this masterclass, guys, stick around because I'm going to drop that revolutionary formula on you. You've already been doing this, guys. What's the only difference? You come play over here and you get to 100x your ROI. So let's continue with the process. Once you underwrite the deal, we're going to get into making our purchase contract, right? In business, we call that an LOI. We call that a letter of intent. And that purchase contract, quote unquote, I'm going to show you guys a deal that we recently did here in Houston. Let's see. So here's the LOI. This was early October. So this is how an LOI looks. There's a few other pages, but let me blow it up to this bottom part here, where you're going to see that for this HVAC company, we offered them $650,000 to acquire 100% of the company, right? We were able to negotiate a simple $2,500 deposit with the attorney, with the escrow officer, right? Escrow agent. So we got them under contract just like you would a house, right? If you got this house for 65 grand, you're feeling good because you know what? Oh, I know I'm going to be able to dispo this. I know I'm going to be able to make a fat fee on this, right? What's the next step in the process? The assignment contract. Exactly. So what did we do with this HVAC company? By the way, guys, HVAC companies are freaking hot right now. They're like 3-2 bricks. They're going to fly off the shelves if you get one of these under contract. Okay. What do we do next? In a house, we get the assignment contract, we assign it out. What do we do next with a business? We find our cash buyer, we get them to sign it, and we're waiting to get paid at that point, right? So if you'll notice, I'm going to blow up this section down here where we assigned it out. Here it is right here. $790,000 is what we assigned this bad boy out for. We require 2.5% of the purchase price to the escrow agent, which in this case came out to $19,750. And this right here is everything you've been doing, guys. Just imagine, guys, taking everything you already do and simply pivoting, doing a 2 millimeter tweak, talking to the same demographic of people, but about their business. You're going to be able to 100x your ROI, guys. If you were to calculate what that fee was, it was $140,000 that we made on one little Houston HVAC company that nobody was talking to. Like, guys, I need you to understand the unsaturation of what we're doing. Like, I have business owners. I suck at follow-up, guys. I fully admit that. Carlos, the team, a lot of people have to keep me in place, in line, okay? But so when I do forget to follow up with business owners, I have them reaching back out to me saying what? I have them saying, hey, CJ, do you still want to make an offer? Do you still want to buy my business? How many times does that happen with a homeowner? If you don't come to a homeowner with the right price at the right time, if you don't leave their house or get off the phone with a contract, what are we all thinking? That's as good as dead. Somebody else is going to sign it, right? Guys, if all this does for you is teach you how to make $140,000 off of one little business, wouldn't this all be worth it? Just one deal, guys. I'm not even saying turn this into a 1,500 deal a year type of operation. We can get there. We can get there. But if all this did was show you how to get one deal, imagine, this is like that $1,500 that I made in wholesaling real estate, my first check. That's how powerful this is going to be for you guys, okay? But the time is ticking, guys. The time is ticking. And what I want to talk to you about now is a little model that I came up with called the saturation model. Before we get into that, guys, let me see in the chat real quick, like who here is figuring out how similar this is. I'm looking right now, guys, who here is seeing the one for one of everything that's happening. That's what I like to see, guys, for sure. So let's talk about this saturation cycle that I came up with. Now, in order to understand it, we're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about houses. We're going to talk about exactly what this would look like or what it did look like during the real estate saturation cycle. And keep in mind, guys, this is not about pricing. Pricing on assets and commodities go up and down. Okay, I'm talking about specifically the level of saturation and how that matures over a cycle for any industry, right? So in real estate, what happened in 2008? Yep, a recession, right? 2007, 2008, whatever. There was a recession that happened. Now, if you were to talk to any of the OGs, and I have, and I've asked them, I wasn't, I guess, fortunate enough or old enough to be a part of that opportunity. But if you were to ask these OGs, what was real estate investing like after that recession? From about 2008 to 2012, again, guys, these are plus minus a year or whatever, but from about 2008 to 2012, it was disgusting how much profit you could make in real estate. Like, this was the time where you could walk around and you could have any grapes in the vineyard that you wanted, any of them, okay? This stage is what I call the life-changing stage of the saturation cycle. Now, from about 2012 to about 2016, plus or minus a year, we entered into a stage that I call the fair stage, where you could make super solid money still, but this wasn't something that was changing your grandkids' lives, right? It was just super solid. And then, from then until now, we entered into a stage that I call the race to zero. And what is the race to zero? That is, you're out there, you're making an offer on a house where you're going to make 20 grand, and somebody comes and outbids you because they're willing to make 10 grand. And then somebody comes and outbids you because they're willing to make 5 grand. And then New Western comes along and they outbid everybody because they're willing to make $1,500, right? I mean, if you feel that in the chat, let me know, right? Like, this is where we are, and we are at the end of the saturation cycle for real estate. Guys, again, this has nothing to do with pricing. This has everything to do with the saturation. You cannot go back and unsaturate how many people are playing this game now. You can't reverse that. You will never be able to get back to the life-changing stage of this saturation cycle in real estate. What are you going to do? You're going to tell all the hedge funds to leave? You're going to tell all your boys and everybody else to just stop wholesaling houses? You're going to tell all the gurus out there to stop teaching it? It ain't going to happen. We're done. That's it. But I'm not here to talk to you about real estate, am I? I'm here to talk to you about businesses. So let's take everything that we just realized about the saturation cycle of real estate, and let's use that to apply it to this brand new industry of wholesaling businesses. And I do say brand new, guys, because I need y'all to understand something. Like, I'm lazy, right? I wanted ChatGPT to write me an ebook like all the gurus say to do. And I wanted it to do how to wholesale businesses. Spit it out for me. AI doesn't understand what wholesaling businesses is. It starts trying to teach me about Shopify. It starts trying to teach me about Amazon FBA. It starts trying to teach me about all the e-commerce stuff. Or it wants to teach me about wholesaling houses. AI doesn't understand the niche that I just created for us. And that's unfortunate for me because I'm lazy. So I got to write y'all my ebook manually. So it hasn't come out yet, but it will, I promise. So here we are in 2023, and there have been whispers, guys, and I don't want to get political here on this masterclass, but there are those that say that we're heading into a recession. We are looking at a recession in the near future. In my humble opinion, guys, and I'm sorry if this is news to you, we're in a recession. Okay. What does that mean for this saturation cycle? It's the same trigger point as the real estate recession in 2008. Same trigger point, guys. So what does that mean? From now until 2027, we are going to experience, what was it? The life-changing stage of wholesaling businesses, where you can make disgusting profit, where you're walking around the vineyard and you get all the grapes that you can grab. This is the time where it's going to change your grandkids' lives. This is it. However, after that come 2031, we are going to be completed with the fair stage. Again, it's going to be super solid money, but more and more people are going to be coming in, right? So that profit starts to go down a little bit. And by the time 2038 comes, guys, we will have completed the entire saturation cycle for wholesaling businesses, and we will have completed the race to zero. And that's when the new Westerns of the world, the net worths of the world, all these big boys are going to be willing to wholesale businesses for $1,500, and the game's going to be over at that point, right? So, guys, what does that mean for us? That means that we have 48 months. That doesn't sound like a lot, does it? I think they do cars for almost, 7, 8 years now, right? We have 48 months to make life-changing money. That's 48 months for you to get your feet wet, for you to mess up a little bit, for you to perfect it, and for you to build your pipeline out and create that life-changing money for you and your family. That's what that means, guys. So, what did I tell y'all in the beginning of this presentation, of this masterclass? I wanted to show you guys how you wholesale a business, how similar that looks to what we're already doing. And I also wanted to show you guys how simple this is to what you're already doing. Let me see in the chat if you guys have, if you're connecting the dots right now, if you're seeing exactly how one-for-one this is to what we're already doing, guys. If you guys see that, if you see what we're doing here, guys, please throw it in the chat. I see my boy Nation. He's over there throwing the fire. Man, when I talk to Nation, shout out Nation. When I talk to Nation in Dallas, this guy's mind is on a whole nother level, guys. If he's connecting these dots, I know everybody else is right now, guys. So, having said all that, guys, what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and drop into the chat. I told you guys that I would drop in there a PDF for everybody to take with you with a revolutionary, the new wholesaling businesses formula that you can take. It explains everything in there, and Carlos is going to drop it in the chat, that you can take, and that you, whenever you come across a business, you can quickly run it through this formula, and you'll know, do I got a deal or do I probably don't have a deal, right? So we just dropped that in the chat for everybody. Make sure you get it. Make sure you click it and download it. Look at it a little bit later, guys. But just know that you guys have received legitimately a revolutionary formula that's going to change your lives and change the game forever. Now, what I want to do, guys, is I want to introduce to you the world's first ever. And I say Google it because if you Google wholesaling businesses, like I dare anybody right now to Google wholesaling businesses and tell me what pops up. Nothing pops up, guys. Nothing pops up. Like, if you guys don't see that when Google doesn't understand what I'm doing, when AI and ChatGPT don't understand what I'm doing, if that's not enough proof that we are on the cutting edge of a brand new industry that's going to rock this world to its core, I don't know what else you need for you to begin to realize that that's what this is right now. Don't be the person on the sideline in 10 years saying, oh man, I remember that guy CJ talking about this when nobody else was. Man, if only I would have jumped on it during that time. Don't be that, guys, because the most important thing you got to do, is pivot. Always be adaptable, because what happened to Blockbuster, guys? They went out of business and Netflix took their place. Why did Blockbuster go out of business? Because they didn't adapt. Because they didn't pivot when the economy called for it. When there are outside global factors that affect you, you reassess, you reanalyze, you reevaluate, and you pivot. You take everything you know and you pivot, guys. Okay, so I want to introduce to you guys the first course on the entire planet made by a real estate wholesaler for a real estate wholesaler, fully dedicated course on how to wholesale businesses, guys. Now, what I want to teach you, what I want to tell you guys is what's inside this course, right? Everybody wants to know that. So let's talk about what exactly you guys are going to get once you jump into this Wholesaling Businesses 101 course. And I want everybody to keep in mind, I called it 101 on purpose. I got so much sauce to give you guys, I couldn't fit it all in one course. I got to come out with a 201 later in 2024 just because this was too much salsa for you guys. Like, y'all would have been burning your mouths and y'all would have never came back if I dropped everything on you in one course. So I got to feed it to you in doses so you can get used to this level of sauce before I drop the 201 on you. So let's talk about what's inside this course. You're going to get all your off-market lead sources. We already talked about one of them. We talked about Data Axle. That's one of them. Inside the course, I got tons more where you guys can go and pull all the data that you want so you can start targeting these business owners. What else is coming in there? I just showed you guys what that purchase contract looked like. I just showed you guys that letter of intent. You're going to get that template. So guys, I know one of the doubts a lot of times is, I don't know businesses. I don't know contracts. I don't want to be, caught up in any legal this, that, the other. Don't worry about that, guys. Your boy has you. I'm a CPA. I'm experienced with mergers and acquisitions. I've done this already. Like, who better to have in your corner than me, right? So again, not only are you going to get all your off-market lead sources, you're going to get the purchase contract template. You're also going to get more templates and scripts, the cold calling script, how you're going to jump on the phone with a business owner and go back and forth with them, basically how to finesse. Hey, have you ever thought of selling your business? You're going to get those scripts. You're going to get other templates and Excel spreadsheets that you can kind of type in some quick numbers in and different things like that. What else are you going to get? Not only are you going to get your off-market lead sources, your purchase contract template, your cold calling scripts and those types of things, text scripts, all of those. You're also going to get printable study materials so you can print things out. You can take notes as you're watching the course. And if I do say so myself, it's a pretty damn good, high quality cinematic course. It's not one of those that's a screen record of a Google Doc and they're just reading it off to you, right? Nah, this took some time to produce, guys. So you're going to get printable study materials so you can take notes while you're doing everything. You're also going to get, of course, your list of cash buyers. I know a lot of times we get these questions. So yes, from A to Z, your off-market lead sources, your purchase contract, boom, you get your scripts on how to talk to the business owners. You're going to be able to take all the notes that you can on your study materials, and you're going to have your list of cash buyers so that you can complete the entire cycle from A to Z on your own. Now, you're obviously going to have me in your corner, so you're not going to be alone, but you're also going to have the assignment contract. This assignment contract has already been proofed by an attorney. Now, I do always say, please take it to your specific state attorney and have them kind of once over everything. If they want to change a couple words here and there, it's all good. Just get their buy-in on it, right? I think that's super important up front. But again, guys, not only are you getting all the off-market leads, the purchase contract, the cold calling scripts, the study materials, the list of cash buyers, the assignment contract, you're getting all of that. You're also getting a private community, guys. Like, this is not no Facebook group, free Facebook group type of stuff. No, you got to go to wholesalingbusinesses.com, log in with your ID, and you'll be able to get connected with other people, other business wholesalers that are already doing this. You know, those guys, they'll post a question. I'll answer it. Other people will answer it. It's just a super nice private community where you're going to become, you're going to be able to get in proximity with a bunch of other high performers that are already doing this stuff, guys. And on top of that, I already just gave it to you, everybody, for free, but the valuation of a business, that MAO, that new formula, that Wholesaling Businesses formula that you guys got in the chat, make sure you download it. That is how you're going to determine what do I offer this business owner? That's how you're going to figure all that stuff out, guys. So I wanted to show you real quickly just an example of what the inside of the community kind of looks like. I had one of our students reach out to me recently. He's saying, hey, CJ, partners have a few businesses we're trying to wholesale. We followed the steps, just wanted to connect to make it happen. What's your availability? I don't know if Spencer made it on this call or not, but guys, they're on their way to probably $250,000 between two businesses that we're looking at. I won't give you a lot of details, but one of them is really cool. It's a golf shop in Cali. They're making over $1 million in revenue. Like, think about that, guys. How many small businesses are just out there just waiting? Like, understand something, guys. Real estate is what I call a recyclable asset. Why do I call it recyclable? Because if a homeowner walks away, defaults, doesn't pay their mortgage or taxes, the mortgage company or the county is going to take it over. It's going to end up back in circulation. Some investor is going to buy it. Some person is going to buy it. It's going to get recirculated. You want to know what happens when a business closes their doors? You might as well crumple up a piece of paper, just crumple it up and throw it away. Because that's all that's ever going to happen with it. And when I hear that a small business closed their doors after 15, after 25 years of being in business and putting their blood, sweat, and tears into something, it's some of the saddest stuff that I hate to hear, guys, because we have the opportunity. See, this is what really changed my mind, guys. When I was wholesaling houses and flipping houses, we're usually able to help out what? One person, two people, three people maybe. Yes, some of us have had some big errors on a file. We personally did a file that had 47 errors on it. Yes, for real, for real. So I get it. But for the most part, we're dealing with helping a small handful of people out. When I helped wholesale my first business with my mentor, I saw 10 people, assistant managers, techs, cashiers. I saw 10 people that had spent 5 to 10 years of their lives building that small business. And when that business owner was able to sell and we were able to keep all the staff on board, it hit me like a bag of bricks that I could exponentially widen my reach, my impact on people if I wholesale businesses, because now I'm not helping one or two people. I'm helping 5, 10, 15, 25 people that all depend on that business to get a paycheck and to put food on their family's table. That is the opportunity that is in front of you guys. So I also wanted to give you guys a little taste of what it's like wholesaling some businesses. So we have a student that was able to wholesale, and you're going to see it here. They were able to wholesale a taqueria, a taco restaurant, guys. For my friends on here that don't speak Spanish, guys, I'm going to show you right now how one of our students was able to wholesale a taqueria, and I hope this kind of opens your guys' eyes. It's about 2 minutes or so. What's up, everybody? CJ here with Proximity. My boy Angel here is with us at Angel Invest Plural. He's going to tell you a little bit about what he does and what his company is real quick, and then we're going to get into a story time.
Yes, sir. My name is Angel from South Texas. The name of my company is Capital Advisors. We do traditional brokering, a little bit of wholesaling, fix and flips, some multifamily.
So guys, the reason we're talking to Angel today is because there's been a lot of people that have been seeing wholesaling businesses. Maybe you see some of the reels of the businesses that we're doing, or maybe you see some of the funny TikTok memes and all of that stuff. The fact of the matter is, I need you guys to understand that this is a very real opportunity. We have the pleasure of talking with Angel today about how he wholesaled a taqueria. You heard correctly. My man's wholesaled a taqueria. He's gonna run us through the brief numbers really quickly and let you guys know how that deal shook out.
Yes, sir. So through traditional marketing, we picked up a really good deal. It was a taqueria. It had a commercial plaza in the back with 5 units. It was an established business. This guy had been in business for over 15 years already. Very well-known taqueria. A lot of people know about it. He just wanted to retire, man. He just wanted to exit his company. He was an owner-operator, as you could call it, but he had all the right people in the right places. So he had a really, good operation going on. He had payroll, he had employees, he had cooks, he had recipes. All of the 5 units in the back of the property were already all leased out and generating and producing income. This guy just wanted to walk away with 1.2 million, which we got him under contract for. We were able to sell it about 2 weeks later for 1.3 million for a total assignment fee of about $100,000. Closed and funded, thank God. And yeah, man.
So there you have it, guys. And I want to shout out to Angel, man. I mean, sometimes, guys, these things they can be a little uncomfortable at first. They can be a little new, but don't shy away from that stuff, right? Don't shy away from everything that you're already doing. Push ahead. It may feel a little weird at first, but jump in there, get your hands dirty. And hey, it's like my boy Carlos always says, you can't make good barbecue until you make bad barbecue. Put it in the chat if you feel me when I say that. You can't make good barbecue until you make bad barbecue. So hurry up and make that bad barbecue, right? So guys, just one more time, I want to remind you guys of what you're getting inside the e-course. All the off-market leads, a list of cash buyers, your purchase contract, your assignment contract, guys, being able to dispo that to the cash buyers quickly. Your scripts, knowing how to talk to these business owners, knowing what them cash buyers will pay, printable study materials, how to value the business. You already have the formula, right? The private community, all of these things, guys, all that proximity is going to be right at your fingertips once you join. But guys, I was sitting here and I was thinking, man, you know what? Like, it's Christmas time. I really like guys, you don't understand. Like, this is my purpose on earth. I've already realized that this is my purpose. This is what God has designed me to do, is to become the bridge. That's all I am. I'm a bridge between wholesaling houses and wholesaling businesses, guys. So I wanted to figure out how I could do something and add even more value to you guys, give you guys something that is really just going to change the game for you, something that's actually never been done before. But what I wanted to do, guys, is to give you guys as a bonus for being on this masterclass with me and sticking with me thus far. I want to give everybody on this masterclass, your first cash buyer of businesses, absolutely free, guys, because that's the question I always get. Well, how do I get my cash buyers? If I find a deal, who am I supposed to dispo it to, right? Hey, I would love to work with everybody on this class, on this master class, but if you take the information, you get this cash buyer, and you guys work with them directly, I have absolutely no problem with that. And I wish all of you guys the best when you end up working with this cash buyer. So let me go ahead and play this video over here. And that way, y'all guys make sure to take notes. And I'm going to show y'all your very first cash buyer of businesses.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben with Acquisition Ace, and I'm always looking to buy more businesses. CJ, he's an awesome dude, and his course on wholesaling businesses works. And it's a total game changer if you guys implement it. There's nothing else out there like it. Literally, I think he's the first one to do this. So I'm here to tell you that if you follow what CJ tells you to do in his course, I will personally buy the deal from you. Add me to your cash buyers list. You can send me your deals at ben@benkelly.co. And of course, don't forget, proximity is power.
So that's my guy, Ben. He's bought several, he's bought several of my deals in the past. Super solid guy. I hope you guys, again, if y'all work with him, I wish y'all nothing but the best, guys, for sure. I hope that provides some value to you guys in what you're already doing, right? So when you come across that business, you're going to know exactly what to do once you get it under contract, right? Again, guys, reminding you of everything that we have inside the course. It's literally all in the box for you guys to go out and start 100xing your ROI and make $100,000 just like Angel did on a freaking taqueria, guys. Like, how many taquerias do you guys pass every day? How many do you hit at least every week, right? Like, you need to go to your favorite taqueria and just start having a conversation with the business owner and see if they've ever thought about selling before, guys. you're eating their tacos when you could be eating up the business and grabbing cash from it, right? Like, it's a whole game changer when you're able to put these goggles on and see opportunities where you didn't see them before, guys. So again, guys, if all this course does for you, is give you your cash buyer, is get you on your way to making $100, $140, $200,000. Even if you only do one deal in your entire lifetime, you're still going to 100x your ROI, guys. Because if there's people making $1,400, $1,500 assignment fees in real estate, and you can make $140,000, $150,000 on a business wholesale deal, the simple math says it's 100x, guys. So what does something like this run, guys? $19.97. This is what the Wholesaling Businesses 101 course is going to run. And so this right here, guys, is everything that you guys want in a box. Drop your questions off to the side, and let's go ahead and start this process. All right. Nation, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Nation is asking, how long is the closing process? So this is kind of a cool question. It's actually a really good question. How long is the closing process? Right now, it's taking anywhere between 60 to 75 days to close one deal. But there's something in the mergers and acquisitions world, and I'm still learning all this, guys. Like, I want you to understand, I'm not a guru at this. I've just done it enough. I've made over 7 figures doing this that I'm just giving the game away because there's way too many leads. Like, in a million years, I'd never be able to handle all the leads that are out there, right? So, like, I want y'all to learn all this as fast as you can so you can start doing it. Anyway, I learned that there is something called a quality of earnings report. They call it a Q of E. And basically, it's done by a CPA, and it's taking the business from top to bottom, providing some super solid, I'm not going to say audited financials, but kind of in that direction. And a lot of cash buyers really depend on that Q of E. Well, right now, that Q of E takes at least 30 to 45 days to get done, right? I'm in the process of turning this Q of E into like a 2-week process, okay? I'm a CPA, right? So I'm qualified to do it. Once I get that down, guys, I'm going to take our average turnaround on these deals from 60 to 75 days down to 30. That's my goal. 30 to 45 days is where I want to be by the time, I'd say probably by mid-2024, I'm going to have to reteach people how to use the Q of E in a much faster fashion so they can go ahead and make their decision on the due diligence period, right? So that's what gets so hung up right now, Nation, is the Q of E. But 60 to 75 days is the answer right now. 30 to 45 days is going to be the answer in 2024. Joey, what's up, my man? Joey is really cool, by the way, guys. I got an opportunity to meet him in Dallas as well. Can we keep our marketing channels the same for wholesaling to find these businesses? Absolutely. You know, Angel was not marketing specifically for the business. He was actually marketing for some commercial real estate, right? So those leads, guys, all this is going to do is put these opportunity goggles on you. And when you do come across a property that has a car wash on it, a taqueria on it, whatever it may be, you're not going to be like, don't even think about that, right? Like, no, we have nothing to do with that. I want to talk about the real estate. No, don't just let $100,000 walk away from you, right? So that's what this does. You can definitely keep your marketing channels the same, cold calling, text message, RVM, all of that. Just grab the lists from, let's say, Data Axle or a ton of other ones that are out there that I show in the course, and start churning out those conversations. You know, I think my boy Carlos always says contacts equals contracts, right? So the more convos you're having, the more deals you're going to have, right? So I hope that answers your question there, Joey. Nation, is the closing process pretty much like a title, like real estate? It's pretty much the same. It just doesn't happen at a title company unless there's some real estate involved. If it's strictly the business, you can just go through like an attorney's office escrow agent. You can run everything through there. Doesn't necessarily have to be it won't be at a title company if there's no real estate involved. Let's see. So I hope that answers that question, Nation. Let's see. Will you help people in the mastermind close a deal? Yeah, that's a good question. Guys, I mean, I'm here to help every step of the way, right? Like when you have a lead and you're like, holy crap, I got a lead. What the heck am I supposed to do now? Like, that's what I'm here for. Like, that's what the community is here for. That's what I'm here for. I got partners that are M&A attorneys. I got partners that are also CPAs. I have CPAs that work for me. Like, guys, when you enter the wholesaling business's familia, like, you're set. Your proximity is going to be at 100. Okay. So that's a good question. Yes, 100%. I'm here to show you guys exactly how to break it down, step by step, ABC 1, 2, 3. What other questions do we have here? If I have a business for $3 million, can I flip it for $4 million? I mean, I guess I would have to say I need more information, right? We need to know how much the revenue is. I need to know how much the profit is. I need to know kind of what the team is, what is the setup of the business. Also, we talked about if it's a franchise, we don't deal with those. So there's just a couple of financial qualifications for the person that asked that question. Feel free to DM me if you want to kind of look at it a little closer. More than happy to. Nation, another question here, guys. Make sure you're throwing in all your questions right now, guys. Go to the chat. Throw some questions in. I know y'all have questions. This is a brand new industry. There is no stupid questions, guys. This is a brand new industry. I probably still ask stupid questions, okay? Throw them in there, guys. I don't block off time for Q&As very often. So whatever you guys want to ask, throw it in the chats now, guys. Nation said, are bandit signs active for marketing? Heck yes. Guys, right now with the real estate market being as saturated as it is, we always have what? We always have on every street corner signs that say we buy houses cash, blah, 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 blah. We've done a couple, we haven't really scaled it up or anything, but we've done a few marketing campaigns with bandit signs that say we buy businesses cash. And guys, this is like fire for everybody on here. Like for everybody on here, I am giving you guys freaking fire, okay? This is Tim. No, don't worry about it, buddy. Go do what you got to do. By the way, guys, Tim is in mergers and acquisitions. He has a wealth of knowledge as well. Happy to connect anybody with him if they're interested. Yeah, guys, fire. Throw some of those bandit signs out and just watch that phone ring off the hook. Seriously. So let's see what other questions. Different niches. Which niches do we go after? So I think it was Cody Sanchez that kind of popularized the phrase boring businesses, right? But what do our end buyers want? Our end buyers want businesses that are as close to autopilot as possible, that are just spitting out cash. They're making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 net every single month, right? And they're just spitting cash out. That's what our end buyers want. So what kind of niches or industries are going to be more on the stabilized, almost recession-proof type of stuff? I can tell you HVAC companies, right? I talked about those earlier. Plumbing companies. Think about, just answer this question. If you're broke and your AC goes out in your house or your car, some way or another, you're going to scrounge up the money you need to go fix that, right? Like those are the businesses that tend to be more recession-proof, where the revenue can kind of stabilize and be more consistent, right? Those are the businesses that we want to focus on. Pest control companies, accounting firms, CPA firms, bookkeeping companies, a lot of industrial companies, roofing companies. Guys, y'all are in real estate. Think about every house real estate related business or service that is out there. Title companies, I've done one of those. Roofing companies, construction companies, plumbing companies, window companies. Like, if you guys believe that eventually the demand for real estate is going to come back, that's what we're all saying, right? You got to just hold on tight. You got to bear down. You got to grit and have grit and just push through this time, through this tough real estate economic time. And eventually it's all going to come back. It's going to start flowing like it was before. If you believe that, which I believe most of you do, then why would you not target housing related businesses? Because if houses go up in demand, those roofing companies go up in demand and get busier. The plumbing companies go up. The pest control companies, home inspection services. Guys, you can create so many verticals by what you're already doing. Talk to your your general contractors. Talk to your roofers. Talk to your pest control guys. Talk to your window guys. Talk to them. I guarantee you there's a lot of them that are 50 plus and have no freaking clue what they're going to do when they're ready to hang it up. And you're going to be sitting there ready. That's the power of jumping in on the e-course, jumping into the private community, and capitalizing on every freaking deal that comes across your way. So hope that answers that question. Sellers ask proof of funds. You want to buy my business? What do you own in your portfolio? When sellers ask personal questions, when a wholesaler doesn't have anything. So number one, the way the process looks is you're going to reach out. You're going to say, hey, you ever thought about selling before? They're going to say, yeah, I'm so glad you reached out. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Guys, I think I've been asked once on all the appointments I've ever been on for proof of funds. They don't care about that. Like, guys, put it in your heads. The level of motivation, it's like going to that one unicorn of a homeowner, right? That's like, look, I don't care. Just put the paper in front of me and let's just freaking sign this thing, right? They don't care about all that other stuff. You're going to that's a dime a dozen in this space. So I've only had one person ask for it. If you absolutely need it, I can provide you guys something. I have probably 75 million or so backing me right now in people that are willing to just buy businesses ASAP. So we can always work something like that out. But again, guys, like most people are not going to be asking for proof of funds and what do you own in your portfolio, right? Like, yeah, so it's a very uncommon question, Nation, but I hope that answers your question. Don't let that be the reason why you're not talking to business owners. Like, guys, understand I'm giving you a flex. I'm giving you a whole flex. When you're at the birthday party, when you're at the dinner party or the get-together, how many people say, oh, yeah, I invest in real estate. I got some houses. I buy real estate. I flip properties. Like, that stuff is old, guys. Like, that's not a flex anymore. You know what's a flex? When you say, oh, cool story, bro. I buy and sell businesses. You know anybody? How come you haven't sold your business? What are you going to do when you retire? Guys, you're going to kick them in the nuts and they're going to be like, whoa, like who's this big player in the house? Right? That's what this is, guys. So I hope that answers your question there, Nation. We buy businesses cash on some bandit signs. Those are fire for sure. Businesses to stay away from. Businesses that have not been open at least 3 years, preferably 5 years. I love the businesses that have been open 15, 20, 30 years. They have super solid reputations and names to themselves. There's just a lot of value in that. You want to stay away from businesses that are a one-man show too, guys. Like if that business owner does everything and they work 100 hours a week, and if they take a day off, the whole business falls apart. That's more of a job than it is a business. And what do our cash buyers want? What do our end buyers want? Cash cows on autopilot. Now, if it needs a little bit of tweaking here and there, they're okay doing that, right? But for the most part, they're not going to buy something where the owner leaves and now they got to go fix everybody's AC or something, right? So there needs to be some semblance of a team, right? Do you use Facebook or Google to market, or more of cold calling and direct mail? So Google right now, and this is a testament to how much cutting edge we are right now, Google it keeps kicking me into the bucket of e-commerce. So it's really hard for me to get in front of the right people. Again, Google just doesn't understand what I'm doing. But Facebook, I'm glad you asked that. Facebook is fire. Like, we've had a couple of 2-3 deals come straight from Facebook, guys. Like, I mean, I'm giving you guys so much freaking game here, guys, but go into Facebook and just start saying, I'm looking to buy a business if you know anybody, right? Just the way we do with houses. And you're going to get convos. You're going to get conversations going. That's all you need to start, guys. Let's see. Is the clause the same or similar when assigned to is put in the contract? Yes, Nation. Yeah, Nation, you're asking some fire questions, bro. These are really beneficial for everybody. Yes, on our contracts, we are going to have and/or assigns just like we would in real estate. That's going to allow us to assign that letter of interest over to the cash buyer whenever they're ready to, to put their ink and their money down. Right. So I hope that answers your question, Nation. Aaron, what's an ideal business to wholesale? So like I said earlier, Aaron, all these boring businesses, all these house service businesses, CPA firms, accounting firms, bookkeeping companies. And there's other stuff out there, guys. Like, I mean, the golf cart, the golf shop, business is super solid. There's like, I think my buddy Tim was telling me about a business that rents golf carts on the beach, and they've been booming for several years. Like that's another good one. A winery, we've talked to a guy with a winery before, right? Those are cool. So there's a ton of industries that you can look at. Body shops. We're actually working on one right now that's a body shop. Huh? A med spa, I think we had a student bring a med spa to the table that we were looking at, that we shot an offer on, right? So these are all good questions, and these are all the industries that you guys should be looking at for when you're going out and targeting these types of deals. Let's see. What's the difference between a business broker and a wholesaler? So there really is not much difference. Business brokers, depending on who you link up with, I think the biggest one is Transworld. There's BizQuest. There's a few other big business brokerage names. They will have their own set of requirements and criteria for you to be a business broker with them. But to simply be a wholesaler, to simply get a business and assign it over to somebody else for a fee, you guys are going to start to realize that there are not as many regulations and laws in B2B, in mergers and acquisitions, as there are in real estate. Because real estate, by the nature of it, is centered around consumers. And there is something called the Consumer Protection Act, right? So that causes a lot of hurdles and requirements to be had, and rightfully so. We want to protect consumers from getting taken advantage of. However, when you enter into the arena of business to business, there is no such thing as the Business Protection Act, right? Like, there is no such thing as that, because the government expects everybody to operate in an arm's length transaction where you're signing to what you believe is right, I'm signing to what I believe is right, and as long as we both agree to it, that's what's going to happen, right? I hope that answers your question, Joey. What amount would you double close on since the profits are higher? Have you gotten into problems when a seller knows what he's looking at and sees that extra amount? No, you can single-side it the way you can with real estate, right? You know how you can do like a single side HUD, or what they call a blind HUD, where it's just the seller's HUD almost and the buyer's HUD. Well, you can have your set of closing documents on both sides be separate. Or yes, you can double close. We have had to double close on one. This is kind of a preference thing. 150 grand or lower, I haven't gotten any kickback from the buyer. Usually these are $1 million price tags, and these types of things, 100, 150 doesn't move the needle too much, right? They just see it as this is my price. They don't really care what happens under that. However, we had one that was above 250, and that one, just because I felt it in my gut, I wanted to double close it. So we did double close that one, double close it on the front side, used end buyers front funds on the back side to close the front side. So just like real estate, you can use end buyers funds to purchase and to double close something. So really cool, actually. And you guys are already well versed in a lot of this stuff, right? What amount would you double close on? Okay, so if I got a business, Adonis is saying, if I got a business, how can you qualify me to do a JV with you? Adonis, DM me, hit me up. We can jump on a quick little call. If you have something, we can kind of take a look at it, and I'll let you know pretty quickly. But with that link that I put in the chat earlier, Carlos, can you drop that Google link in there one more time for them in case you came on late, guys? You guys can take that Google, that PDF that Carlos is going to drop in there again, and you guys can quickly plug in the numbers, and you'll get an idea really quickly of where you need to be to make an offer to that business, right? So that is a powerful way. But yeah, short answer, more than happy to work with all of you guys if y'all have something and we can just chop on it, right? Our title fees, transfer fees, hire and expense fees on the buyer's end. Yeah, I mean, there are M&A fees that have to get done. That quality of earnings report tends to be a closing cost that a lot of people have to pay. Those can run the end buyer up, 10 grand, 15 grand just for that Q of E, guys. So I'm still working on changing the game on that Q of E. Give me maybe 3 to 6 months, and it's gonna turn this into a very, very quick process for everybody. Do you have a loan company the potential buyer could talk to? I do have access to a lot of lenders, conventional lenders, SBA lenders, all of those things. You would just have to, like I said, get with me, guys. Do you have a loan company? Yes, guys. I have tons of resources that you guys can use. And that's one thing I always say, guys. Like, I don't know if I made this saying up, but I Googled it and nothing popped up. I say opportunity dies with lack of resources, right? If you had a taqueria where you could have made 100 grand on it, but you didn't know me, you weren't in the family, you weren't in the community, you didn't have none of those resources, CPAs, M&A attorneys, all of that, that deal would just walk away from you, and $100,000 would walk away from you. Why? Why? Because you have a lack of resources. Don't let your opportunities die because of lack of resources. I am a resource. This course is a resource. The private community is a resource. Equip yourself. Stay strapped with the resources so that when the opportunity comes, it doesn't just die, guys. Okay, so let's see. How about a business that's good on numbers but hasn't paid rent or owes taxes? Is there a certain amount to stay away from? Well, if they haven't paid rent, it just depends if the landlord's ready to kick them out or not. If they owe taxes, that just has to get paid, based on the offer that we give them, right? If they owe 100 grand in taxes and our offer is 500 grand to them, I mean, at closing, 100 has to come out, and they need to understand that, right? Just like with real estate, they got to pay all their debt to clear it out on the day of closing. One of my clients wants to sell a chiropractic practice. Yeah, Aaron, we can definitely talk about it offline. For sure, DM me or text me, bro, and we can kind of run through some basic numbers with you. And once we take a look at the numbers, we'll kind of decide qualified, not qualified, et cetera, et cetera. I'm trying to squeeze in these last few questions, guys. In revenue, can we get into a business that has more than 10 million? 100%, guys. There's private equity. The big boys, they buy 10 million and above. So there's this massive gap under 10 million where we're all looking and we're all going to be able to go get tons of businesses that nobody's marketing to. That's the only reason I put it below 10. But 100% you can go above 10 for sure. Top 3 businesses to wholesale: HVAC companies, plumbing, and I love med spas right now because those are super hot. Women are definitely going to always spend money improving themselves, right? Is the purchase and sales contract the same, or is it a different contract? It's the one we showed in the Masterclass Nation. Inside the course, the templates are there. Don't worry about all that. I got you on all of that, all the legal stuff, man. You're with the right proximity. You're with attorneys. You're with CPAs. We're going to get you straight on all of that. It ought to, let's see, purchase contract. What's EMD like? So for us on the front side, Adonis, negotiate it as low as possible to $1 if you need to. You know, that one that I showed in the slides was the one that I showed in the slides was like 2,500, I believe. And on the backside for the buyers, we require 2.5% of whatever the purchase price is. Right. So I think it was like 750 or whatever the numbers were, came out to like 19 grand that they had to put down when we signed the assignment contract. Thank you to everybody that's on there. I hope you guys really got a ton of value from everything we're doing, guys. I really hope this was fire. I hope this was game changing. I hope you guys are connecting the dots, and I hope that you go and you jump in and you start making life-changing money as well, guys. I wanna thank everybody for being on the call. If you have any questions, you can DM me, find me. I'm not that hard to get a hold of, guys. And I wish everybody the best. And we'll see you later, guys. Have a good one.